Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin, and the first round of the NBA playoffs are essentially over. Man, you got your last two. You got your 2 Game 7s coming on. The Charlotte Hornets head to Miami to play the Heat. That's at 1:00. Also, you have a second round game between the Blazers and Golden State, and you have the Pacers Toronto Raptors pretty much finishing off their series at 8:00 tonight. Now, I want to talk about, I've been doing this the last couple of years, talking about who I think, what I think about the first round. And a couple of years ago, what really made me do that was you had so many games. You had about 4 or 5 Game 7s. It might have been more. I don't remember exactly, but pretty much the entirety of the playoffs was really good. And this playoffs, not for the Western Conference. Eastern Conference, the games are more competitive. Hence why you do have 2 Game 7s. And even with a team like the Pistons, I will say 3. They did get swept. 3 of those 4 games, they were competitive. They just lacked the experience. You still got some guys who are still developing. They lack the talent of a experienced Cavaliers team who last year was in the finals, and a really hungry team with guys like Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron playing amazing basketball. Like I said, Pacers Toronto been going back and forth. Charlotte Miami, which didn't start well for Charlotte, but them winning 3 straight, and then you saw Game 6. Wade could still go out there and make plays. Atlanta Boston. Injuries. They did have an injury, but I still think they played really good basketball. For the most part, and Atlanta ended up winning that one. And I can't believe this one. It's escaping my mind. I already talked about the Cleveland. I'm sorry. For the Western Conference, Memphis, coming into the playoffs, they limped into the playoffs with injuries to Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, who the guy stays injured at this point. But you're missing 2 of your top players. So 2 of your better offensive players are Zach Randolph and Vince Carter. These are aging veterans. You can't expect to even be close to beating a healthy Spurs team. So I don't think it was for lack of effort, but it was just injuries, man. Injuries, lack of offensive talent, and you're just playing against a vastly superior team in San Antonio Spurs. The Golden State Houston series. I already got a video talking about Houston. They didn't care about basketball. And to me, like, the reason I won't give Memphis a bunch of shit, Memphis has injuries and just really had no depth. And overall, they just lack the talent of the Spurs. Houston, the guy's healthy. Harden's healthy. Dwight's healthy. Reza, Patrick Beverly, who wasn't in the playoffs last year. They had all these guys healthy. And you get destroyed by more when the MVP goes out, who played a game and a half. And you lose by more when he's not, playing. It's ridiculous. I mean, you go back and watch some of those games in that series, and the effort is pathetic. But that was a bad series just because of the lack of effort from Houston. Golden State played amazing, but I felt as though if Houston would have gave more effort, it would have been a way better series. Probably, would have went more than 5. Then you also have the Dallas, OKC. Dallas just not that talented. Chandler Parsons went down. Some of the, they had some injuries in the front court, and they just aren't a good. They aren't a good team. They got some good players, but OKC was just a superior team. They had trouble with Westbrook. No one could really defend him. Durant didn't play great throughout the series, and he had an awful game 6 of 33. This was the lone game Dallas won. 1 point. They won that game by 1 point. I knew after seeing that game, I was like, okay, Durant shoots. Well, I believe it was 7 of 33. He shot 7 of 33, and Dallas won by 1. And Westbrook didn't play that good either. I knew after that game, there was no way Dallas was winning that series because you cannot expect both of those guys to play that bad ever again. And of course, they dismantled them the next 2 games. I mean, the next 3 games. I'm sorry. Next you have the Portland Clippers game series. Now that series I thought would have been, just looking at it, it's probably the best series out of all of them. But then it turned out to be one of the worst, and not because of effort or play, but the injuries. The injury bug hit the Clippers really hard, really fast. Same game, Chris Paul breaks his hand. This is game 5. Chris Paul breaks his hand. Blake Griffin also hurts his, I believe it was his quad. It might be his hamstring, I'm sorry. But it was a leg injury, something he's been dealing with all season, a leg injury. He wasn't completely 100% healthy, but he was willing to play. But I knew he wasn't going to play through it, seeing Chris Paul out. There's no way he was going to play through it. And those 2 guys sat down for game 6. And at that point, you essentially knew it was over. You got to give, I got to give these guys, the guys that were in there, Redick, Jamal Crawford, Austin Rivers, DeAndre Jordan. You got to give these guys credit. Paul Pierce, because those guys still went in there. You're missing your 2 best players, still played hard, made it a close game, and of course still lost. But you got to give them credit for the effort, despite being hampered with injuries. So, like I said, Western Conference injuries, lack of effort, pretty much plagued the Western Conference first round. Hoping the second round will be a lot better, but it's hard to, based off looking at. We'll have to see how tonight's 3:30 game between Golden State and Portland goes, which I think Portland gets destroyed. But looking at yesterday, the Spurs destroyed the Thunder. Let's hope it doesn't go like that for the entirety of the this round. I know for Spurs fans, they would definitely like that series to go like that. But as a basketball fan, I like to see games a little bit more competitive. I want to see a team up 20, up 30, essentially, coasting to the victory while the team that's getting blown out is going to essentially rest their players outside of a closeout game. Now, we'll have to wait to see, for the Eastern Conference, we'll have to wait to these 2 game 7s, because these the 2 teams that win these 2 game 7s are going to match up in the second round. So, we'll have to wait and see about that. But I'm hoping the second round is a lot better than the first. You don't want to see these star players get injured, man. Even if it's a guy you don't like, you don't want to see these guys get injured, because it hurts the game of basketball, man. As a fan, you want to watch the best basketball. And how do you watch the best basketball? With the best players on the floor. You don't want to see you don't want to see some bench warmer in there because your star player got hurt or a very important role player got hurt. You don't never want to see that. Things happen, but it's just something you don't want to see. But like I said, let me know down in the comment section, what was your favorite series of the first round, and how do you expect the second round to go? And also, you can pick, I guess, your favorite upcoming series between, in the second round, and who you think is going to win. I'm not going to really do any predictions. But if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.